What's up guys, Chunky back again. I'm here playing the For Honor Open Beta. If you have a PS4, Xbox One or PC, you can jump on this open beta right now and give it a go. With that said, I'm just going to run through the tutorial. A lot of people kind of asking, how's this game play and how's this game look and how's this game feel? With a very different kind of simulating kind of style of swordplay, I'm going to walk through the tutorial and kind of explain how the things work and my impressions of the beta overall. So with that said, these are the characters you can recruit. Basically, you have three different factions. You have the Knights, the Vikings, and lastly the Samurai. Now basically every class has three certain heroes, or this beta does anyway. So basically the Warden is the easiest to play with, it's the most adaptable, the most straightforward, the average one. Then you have the Conqueror, something that's a bit stronger, a bit slower, but a bit of a hard hitter. And then you have the Peacekeeper, someone that's fast and also a counter-attacker. Now if you can see at the top, on top of Peacekeeper, it says they're not only assassin, but they're medium. That is the difficulty of control that these heroes have. Same with the Warlord, and same with the Berserker. So given that you have to pick a certain faction, the Knights, the Vikings or the Samurai, once you actually start playing the game, because every kind of match you play in multiplayer contributes to how many points your faction gets. And at the end of every season, which lasts about 10 weeks or so, you actually get to see your faction taking over certain parts of the land that the game allows you to take. Now with that said guys, I'm going to pick the Warden. It's the most easy, the most straightforward and the easiest to kind of control, and therefore show you how it all works. Alrighty. So as you can see, the game actually looks pretty good. It's pretty detailed. It's quite colourful, and it's quite, the character models are quite detailed. I actually like it. This is actually a female character. She looks like an absolute beast, and I'm surprised they're also giving females a chance as well as males. It's good to see. Now basically you hold L2 to lock onto a target, and this is kind of what you're going to be using for most of the time. So basically if you release L2 very quickly and press it again, you'll switch targets like that. Bang, bang, and you got to do it 4 times. Now I'm just running through it very quickly, just kind of not really dragging it too long. Now basically when you guard, you'll see these 3 arrows behind your back. So you can go to the left, you can go above your head, next to your head, and you can go on your right hand side. Now basically when you change these guards, it will change how you attack and what part of the body you'll attack. So basically we're going to come across a real enemy now, and it's pretty much just kind of the same mechanics that I used on that straw. So basically you're going to hold L2 to lock on, or if you're playing Xbox, I assume it'll be the left trigger, and see how on the enemy's kind of body there's an arrow pointing to the left. That is the guard that he's taking. So if you take the same guard, you'll block his attacks whenever he attacks from that same guard. If you see how that works, it's basically a matching game. When he switches the guard, like I didn't do very well there, when he switches the guard, you switch the guard in the same way, so that when he attacks, you'll block it. Pretty simple stuff. It's pretty intuitive. It's something different, something not seen in in a few games. Everything's kind of straightforward, like God of War, just smashing buttons and kind of, it's very simple in nature. And I appreciate that something like this actually works, and it feels good, it feels fluid, and doesn't feel like you're getting caught in all these different controls. Even though it does seem quite intimidating, I understand that a lot of people don't really understand how this game works, or it just seems a bit too hard, a bit too difficult, and there is a learning curve, which is why I wanted to jump into the beta and kind of just show you guys how it all works, if you haven't done so quite just yet. So now I'm going to defeat him with light attacks. So you can see his guards above his head. I'm going to switch to either the left or the right, it doesn't really matter, and swing away. Basically, you'll hit at him. If I do attack above his head, he will block it. So it's all about changing your stance in comparison to the opponent's stance. Not too hard. So I'm just using light attacks right now by the R1 button. I'm assuming for Xbox One it'll be the right bumper. However, that might all change depending on the controller. I'm not sure about PC. I assume it'd be the left or right mouse. So basically I'm going to defeat the enemy with heavy attacks. So clearly heavy attacks take a lot longer, but they deal a lot of damage, and at the end of the day they're more of a risk because your guard is definitely open for a longer period of time, especially if it's blocked. Alrighty, so now that we got the basic gist of the combat, I'm going to head towards a zone. Now, you can see that A, it's basically zones that you have to capture. This works, the modes in this game work very much like domination, kind of capturing different points of a map. So basically, if you've played any kind of shooter before, if an enemy is in that specific location you're trying to take over, you kill them or they kill you, and they then get to take over the portion of the map. So let's just take out this enemy very quickly, as quick as I can. Now, if you can see me kind of, taking my time, it might look like I can attack or, different kind of opportunities. It is a patience game. It is a game of actually waiting, making your opponent kind of make mistakes and taking advantage of those mistakes, and actually very much relying on reflexes. If you don't have good reflexes, this game might be a bit tougher than it is supposed to be. However, it's not supposed to be easy. This is not some kind of button masher of sorts. Even though you're versing NPC enemies, the controls do not verse like this. It's only kind of when you're versing either real players or boss battles or players that actually have some kind of skill level that the game really takes it kind of into this kind of zoomed in mode. So now that I've captured the map, I've captured this point, I'm going to run to the next point. Now this is where the controls kind of change. So if you see the guys on the left, that's my team, the blue guys, and if you see the guys on the right, the orange guys, they are the enemies. Basically though, these enemies don't actually, they're not like bosses, they're not like real players. So basically these guys you can button mash. So even though I've just pressed X to roll, just kind of getting through the tutorial, basically these guys don't require a lock on at all. You can just swing away. One hit should kill them. Have fun. You can absolutely blast through any of these guys. They do you damage if you do hold L2. You do block them, even though you're locking onto them. Your stance doesn't actually really matter here. It does technically, but it's not like these players actually have a stance of their own, and you can't really project what they're going to do. You just got to button mash. But at the same time, while it can be a bit simplistic, it looks cool. Running into a bunch of enemies, taking them out, bang, 2 at a time. It's really cool. The knights actually have some cool moves. You see them kind of taking the blade while taking the actual, putting their hands on the blade and just whacking with the handle. It's actually really cool stuff. Now, while this does get a bit repetitive, it does serve a purpose. So basically, the soldiers around you can actually push and take their own portion of land. Basically, what it means is the soldiers that are on your side don't really do much. You kind of got to come in and just take care of business yourself. However, it's just, for some reason, even though I'm only kind of mashing buttons right now, it is oddly satisfying. And I don't really kind of understand why. It's just the controls are very fluid. There's a lot of movement. You actually feel how heavy your weapons are, so you can kind of time your attacks. And yeah, just taking out 2 enemies at once like that, it feels damn good. So basically, I'm going to head towards C. And take on my final enemy. Now, as well as blocking and changing stance, you can also dodge attacks. I didn't do it very well there, but there you go. You press X and a direction and you will dodge attacks. Then, obviously countering stance, you can then attack how you see fit. Just kind of, swing away there. Wait till he changes stance. It seems like, yeah, there you go, he's changing stance. And like I said, it's very reflex based. It's kind of, it's kind of just waiting for your opponent to make a mistake, and that's about it. That is the basic gist. Now, you can also break attacks, so if you find it hard to really get through an enemy, they might even block you no matter what. You might even change your stance and they'll block it. At all times, this character here is just blocking my attacks. Basically, press square, break his attack. He'll be stunned for a quick second, but in that quick second, you get to actually make a move and attack and take at least a little bit of health with you. There we go. So basically, as well as breaking guards, you can also break the guard and then in turn throw the enemy and knock them somewhere. This provides not only a bit of a loss in balance, but also provides a bit of damage and can be useful when pushing enemies into dangerous surroundings like spikes. You might be an edge nearby and you might just be able to push them off. With that said, guys, that's pretty much the end of the basic tutorial, the basic combat. Now, in saying that, there is an advanced practice. However, I won't really go into it. It tackles more advanced things like blocking at the last second to parry and kind of advanced combos. I will show you how basically an enemy can try to break you as well. When he tries to break you, if you press square in return at the last possible second, then you can therefore break back and then attack as well. Now, it is quite advanced, and like I said, you guys can play this for free right now if you have Xbox Live or PlayStation Plus. On the PC, I don't think there's any kind of restriction there, but you can download the open beta. It's free. It will be on until tomorrow, the 13th of February. I think that's tomorrow, but it'll be on until the 13th of February. But however, if you miss out, don't stress out too much. The game does actually come out on the 14th of February, guys, for the PS4, Xbox One, and PC. While I'm having fun with it right now, and I will be picking it up on release and definitely doing a review on this game, it's safe to say this game is not only different, but entertaining in what it does. Let's hope it can keep up the good fun. With that said, guys, this is Chunky. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for your time. If you like the video, if you have an opinion on the game, definitely comment down below. Definitely leave a like for me. And if you're new to the channel, hey, why not subscribe? Keep up with all my content in the future. That's it from me, guys. Thank you very much for watching once again. This has been Chunky, and I shall see you soon on Chunky's Reviews.